Welcome, folks. This is the IlliniGuys halftime live. Got Kedrick Prince will be coming on in a minute here. We've got Marcus Griffin, Illini great, Mike Kegley here, and Marcus. I will tell you, this was a half. I thought that Illinois' defense played well, but I think turnovers were a big factor. I think if Illinois could have limited the turnovers, I think Illinois would have done quite a bit better than what they did. Those darn turnovers just keep hitting the Illini.
I will agree because they haven't been selling for the three. They have been definitely crashing the offensive glass a lot in this game. And you would think that they will have, because I'm pretty sure they got a nice lead on the rebounding. You would think that they would have a nice lead, but those turnovers are keeping Michigan in the game in the first half.
Kedrick, any thoughts on the turnovers?
Well, the turnovers, they stink. They just cost you possessions. My concern is, and I'm sorry, they're 3 for 14 from three. They're 21% from three. Why can't they just shoot up the basketball? I mean, they're wide open sometimes. Brickhouse hit one. I literally think he cracked the backboard a little bit. Why in the world? And I know a lot of it's contagious. Do you know how many open looks from 4 or 5 feet they just miss? And then if you're wide open, you can't knock down shots. I don't care about what this team was supposed to do. You're not going to win games in the Big Ten tournament or in the NCAA tournament if you can't make shots. I don't want anybody telling me anymore about how good this team is. And they just continue to shoot it. Again, think about this. 14 three-point attempts in the first half to Michigan's 7. They just keep launching them. So you know what? I don't have an answer for that. The turnovers are just sloppy. To start the game with, KJ started the game with a turnover. That has to be cleaned up. I've seen enough of it, but I'm not surprised by it, fellas.
Well, I will say maybe they are all good shooters in their own right, but maybe this is just what it's going to be. The year, like I played basketball a lot of my life. When you get to this time of the year, you are who you are.
Thank you, Griff.
Like no matter how much we want to change it in regards to the shooting aspect, this is who they are. We have had a lot of sample size of the season, and they can shoot them, but we just do not make a high percentage of them. No matter what, we make 30% of our threes that we shoot.
And you know what? I'll tell you what's really what Dusty May. I don't want to say he's panicking. He goes to a man. He goes to a zone. I mean, they have a zone offense because they don't panic. They do like most good teams do. They try to get the ball in the middle of the floor. I think Trey White got a layup out of it once, and I think Jake Davis had a good look at it. I'm okay with that. But if you're going to get to the basket like Kylan Boswell, I mean, he is getting to the rim whenever he wants, and for some reason he still wants to just jack up threes. He's 1 for 3. Just keep getting to the basket. Will Riley hasn't been stopped by anybody in the Big Ten from getting to the basket, but yet they want to settle with that. That's frustrating to me. I mean, I don't know how you guys feel, but I'm tired of watching that. I just am.
Well, they were up 26-19 and ended up being outscored 11-5 down the stretch. I got to be honest with you. This reminds me of the close of the Michigan State first half when Illinois had the 31-15 lead, and it ended up getting closer. And the worst possession for me was, it was 26-21. And Illinois, Rickhouse and I can't remember if it was Evasic. They passed the ball to one another from block to block, and nobody put a shot up. They ended up shooting a three that missed. And I got to be honest with you, Rickhouse I'm usually one of his bigger supporters, but goodness gracious, he couldn't guard Donaldson to save his life. And when you're shooting balls that don't hit the rim from three, I'm not certain what the point of you being there is.
Confidence is a strange thing. You know, confidence is contagious, and it's a strange thing. Like especially when you're shooting. Like, I'm a big guy. I'm around the basket. You know, things are going to accidentally happen to you because you're closer to the basket. The further you are away from the basket, that confidence is a tricky thing. Like, you could be a knockdown shooter, but that rim gets smaller and smaller and smaller the more the misses pile up. But I'm confident that he's going to figure it out. He's going to get more opportunities. Like the season, this is not the last game, so they got one more home. They got one more home game, then Big Ten tournament, NCAA tournament. He just got to get his confidence right.
Griff, I know you just joined us, and I'm going to tell you, we've said on so many podcasts, it's contagious. Just knock down a couple. Will Riley knocks one down. If Ivisic comes out, because I think he's the best shooter on the team personally, when he missed his first two, I know in the back of their mind the players are thinking, oh my gosh, he's not
here he goes again.
Yeah, but everybody talks about it, and then they just need a couple to go down from a couple guys, because the offense that they run, I'm not a fan of it, but I will say this: they get good looks. They get wide open looks, and they run it, and they spread the floor. They get layups, and I get them after watching 30 games. I guess I understand the philosophy behind it. You spread the floor, and they back cut you, and you get a great pass with the Bisic. But then if you knock down shots, you're unguardable.
Yeah, they look really good when you go back to the Oregon game. Out there when they hit that, I think that was Oregon when they went on a West Coast trip, and once they go in, they might disappear. Once they go in, they look really, really good, but once they miss, it looks bad.
It does, and some of them, like with Ben Rickhouse, and you mentioned it, they are who they are. It's not going to change. He's not going to become some great shooter overnight. He may have a great game. I mean, I hope he has a great second half, but overnight it's not going to happen. And as well as they're getting to the basket, just keep attacking them, and they're a good free throw shooting team typically. So I don't know why we'll just keep launching them. But Brad said he's going to do it, and there's nothing any of us, any analysts or any former players or anybody think he's going to do what he's going to do. And
my word
squad, I guess I get it.
What are they shooting from the paint? Anybody know their stats inside 2-point field goals? What's their percentage?
They're 32% from two. Michigan is 45% from two. Illinois is literally shooting 12 for 27 field goals, which is not great. And they've missed some bunnies, like Mike just mentioned. Mike, you mentioned the pass to Ivisic to Rickhouse. Do you know how many other layups that they missed and just little bunnies? That 32% isn't great. And let's look at the big picture. They're winning by 1 point. I mean, just imagine if they would just make half their shots or a quarter of them.
Well, but they were 3 for 8 from the three after that horrible start, and that's probably a little bit of it. But I just think they've got to focus on playing defense and not turning the damn ball over, because if they can just keep 5 of those possessions, they're probably up by 8 points. It's crazy.
And right now, Michigan is like, we can't play a worse half. Like, we got about 8 or 9 turnovers, haven't rebounded the ball at all. They like on their side, where Illinois should be stepping on their neck right now. Michigan is like, if we take care of the ball and we can rebound the basketball a little bit, we got a chance to get out of here with a victory. So Illinois just needs to get back in the defense. They need, because I'm pretty sure they're going to see a lot more zone in the second half, because that definitely got Michigan back in the game in the first half. So I know coaches drawing up some zone offense here at halftime, but take care of the ball, knock down these open shots, and just crash the paint. Get the ball in the paint. Well,
I would agree with that, but I think sometimes if you think you're a shooter, and one of our colleagues, Brad Sturdy, used to always say, and I agree with it, they're open for a reason. They're open because they know you can't make the shots. And this is we beat this, to a dead horse, but they got to figure this out. This is a game. Truthfully, fellas, I mean, I'm not a gambling guy. I look at the odds and things like that. I thought this was going to be a tough game and Illinois would be blown out, but they came out with some energy and they defended well. They really, really defended well. They made it tough for Michigan to score. I'm cool with all that, but you got to get a couple of breaks, and some of the breaks you got to make yourself as well.
Yeah, and KJ's got to get back on board. That's the bottom line. He's got to start playing up to his level.
I feel like he don't attack. I think after the wrist injury, he doesn't attack the basket like he was doing at the beginning of the year. And I don't know if he has a lingering issue with that wrist or whatnot, but the team goes offensively how he goes. When he's getting that ball in the paint, knocking down, doing a little bully ball, taking little guards to the block and shooting over the top of them, that team feeds off his energy. And once he's doing that, that team thrives.
Yeah, it's been frustrating to see that. And the other thing, I guess, too, is Boswell was playing well, and he's got to keep taking it to the hoop.
Yep.
And if nothing else, he can dish off when he gets down in there.
Yep. Boswell, I think he got 10, 12 first half points.
Yeah, he's at 13 to lead the team.
Yep. Couple of offensive rebounds. Continue to rebound that ball, but he's also getting in the paint as well.
Ken, you got your mute on.
He's at least attacking the basket, and he's getting make free throws. So I'm good with that. Griff, you're right. I really want to see KJ do some of that. Get to the basket. He's a good free throw shooter, and he's tall enough. I think sometimes he's flopping, and it's like he's looking for a foul.
Yep.
The officials aren't going to give that to him because he's kind of developed that stigma. So he's going to get what he's going to get, I guess. But I just think he's so important. He's kind of digressed a little bit. If there's one kid on the team that needs some confidence moving forward, it's going to be him.
Yes, because they got to get out that. They got to get out that 8 or 9 seeding for the NCAA tournament. Because I've seen multiple, maybe them facing Alabama in the second round, maybe them facing a Duke in the second round. We definitely got to get out of that seeding position.
So
we need to pile up some wins.
They control that, Griffin. I agree with you wholeheartedly. And I've just, so you guys know, and people out there, because no one's really predicted the Big Ten tournament, but I saw something yesterday. If the seedings if they stay where they are today, they're going to play Wisconsin and Michigan State in the first game. So they need to win.
But I think that will be good for them, because that will, how I picture it is that's going to make them play, because when they play against the big dogs, they play pretty solid.
Yeah.
Like they might lose in the second half, but the energy is always there. Like even going back to Tennessee at the beginning of the year. Like I think that will be good for them. I don't want them to go against somebody who I feel like they can just beat. Their antennas will be a little up playing that Michigan State or Wisconsin in that first round. I
agree, because right now they've dug themselves a hole. It's time to get out of it.
Yep.
And they are good enough. Like I said, just watching them play right now, I wasn't real confident, but now knowing the fact that they're ahead by 1, I hope they don't break Illini Nation's heart. They can come out and make some shots. They just need one guy, whether it's Trey White or Ibisic or Jake Davis or Boswell, somebody to just get hot. And they need to join Boswell. He has 13 points, and the next closest person is Ibisic. He has 5. Now, here's our big fella. He's 2 for 7 from the field and 1 for 4 from 3. So they need him to get going, and he only has 2 rebounds as well.
And I know
I think we lost.
I think we lost Marcus, and I'm in the midst of yet another weird microphone moment. I think the other thing I'm scared of, Ked, is the refs were great in the first half. They only called 12 fouls, and both teams shot 4 free throws. The refs were not intrusive on the game at all. So what's the odds that we get like 6 whistles in the first minute and a half?
Well, I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. Let the game get close, and the one coach who can bark in the ear the best, the most, or to be the most effective is who's going to benefit from that, because it's going to change. I didn't want to mention the refs because I thought the same. What I thought was they let both teams play. And both teams were very physical, and I'm great with it. Illinois has to adjust, so they let them play. I saw the same thing in the women's game today. The officials let them go after it. You either adjust or you don't. So there's not a call that I disagree with, and that's saying a lot coming from me, because I've always been really critical of them. But today they have to own this.
Yep, and they're just about ready to go back to the game, folks. So we're going to go shoot it back to the back. We're going to shut her down now. Marcus, any final thoughts before the second half kicks off here?
Just continue, play solid defense, zone offense. I'm pretty sure you're going to get some more zone. But I just want to do one thing. I got yelled at last week. I would like to give a shout out to all of the parents of the Dunlap Eagles basketball team and all of the siblings, because without you guys, we couldn't make it. All my rock, paper, scissors champions that I used to compete against, all my siblings out there for the 3rd grade travel Dunlap Eagles, thank you, and I salute you guys.
There we are, folks. We are going to go back to the game now. And, of course, I on the Illini Live will be on right after the game ends. Until then, folks, go Illini.
Go Illini.